Well, welcome back to another episode of Tattoos and Toddlers. Guess who I have today? One of my favorite Clubhouse friends that I met, who is an amazing wedding professional who knows how to work hard, play hard, and apparently has some interesting tattoo stories, or at least one we're going to get to today. And I'd like to introduce you to my friend Dixie. Dixie, why don't you introduce yourself real quick?
Hey, Tim. So, yes, I am Dixie. I am based out of Georgia, and I guess you could just say at this point that I'm a serial wedding entrepreneur. I have several businesses, but it all started with a barn that turned into a venue, that turned into wedding planning, that turned into owning a bakery, that turned into online wedding marketplace and consulting and businesses, and just the wheel keeps rolling. So, hopefully, we're kind of paused on that for a second.
Oh my gosh. And this is what I know, you're full of knowledge and wisdom, and the two of you as a couple, I feel like even just the both of you together running these businesses and insights and things that I imagine y'all bounce things off each other all the time too. So I kind of wanted to know, I had you on this talk today because I wanted to see what it was like for you, or maybe how it is right now, how you're balancing the family and work aspect. I know that right now you're in a very unique location, so maybe kind of share some insights on how others can be inspired by what your story is, but also how you've carved your life out to have this unique balance of that serial entrepreneurism, but you also get this really hardcore family time. I really appreciate that about you. So can you go into that just a little bit?
Yeah, I've always knew I didn't know what I wanted to be ever growing up, but I did know two things. I knew that I wanted children. Funny enough, I didn't care if I had a husband. I was like, I knew I wanted kids always. And I always knew that I really liked a whole lot of different things. So I always knew that those two things were really important to me. And, I was married previously and got divorced and had, pretty much sole custody of two very young children. And I grew up with a divorced mom who was not necessarily making me a priority, I guess you could say. And so I just always knew that no matter what, that I wanted to make my kids a priority. And so when I started out, I would only work when I was a single mom. I would only work when I didn't have my kids, or I would work while they were in school. So I kind of always like just built myself around working around them. I just knew that there would be a time and a day where they wouldn't want to be with me all the time. And I just felt like that was really important to be there for them. Now, I was not living in the lap of luxury during that time by any means, because that came with some sacrifices of doing without money. I would literally be negative, $200 in my account. But I was working around my kids. Looking back, I do not regret that. It built character, and I think it's really added to the business person that I am. And I'm still that way. When they're with me, I let all my clients know, hey, this is my time. I'm going to be with my kids. If you need me and you are on fire, absolutely text me. I will make time for you because you are important to me. But do not blow me up and bother me, because when I'm at work and I'm doing my wedding things, now that my kids are grown, when I'm in work mode, I'm fully immersed and you get my full attention. And so I expect my clients and my other employees to understand that when I'm away for family time, that is the same way.
I really appreciate the strength of that boundary. And I'm saying that very, very strong right now with my own voice, because it's like that is a very strong boundary that sometimes we as wedding pros and anybody running their own business, sometimes we just let it spill over into our entire day, like all of our day. We don't shut it down, right? And I feel like you have cracked your own personal code on that boundary. And she couldn't have said it better, right? Y'all, everybody listening, she has made the choice to live her life this way. And I think it's important to kind of like maybe take and learn from that, because we can all improve our boundaries. Wouldn't you say, Dixie?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've always growing up I had a very 70s mom. So I'll leave your imagination to pick and choose what that means.
Absolutely.
So I had to take care of myself a lot. And so that meant standing up for myself and saying no.
Yeah.
My mom had lots of boyfriends coming through the door, lots of, unpredictable situations. I lived in a car for a month while she married some dude at the carnival at the fair. So like I had to learn from a really early age to say no and stand up for myself, because I didn't have a dad or grandparents or somebody else who was going to do it, and so I knew that I was going to have to stand up for myself and also push the limits of, being okay with saying no. If I wanted to get what I wanted to get, which was I knew I wanted to one day be successful with children and have a happy life, that I was going to have some sacrifices of saying no and run the risk of people not liking me or maybe not getting to do certain things because maybe I said no too early or, stuff that went with it. But I'm 50 now and I'm look back at everything. And I honestly, honest to God, Jen, I would not change a thing. I'm very proud that, of the way I've lived my life and the path that I've taken to get here and the struggles. And I think every bit of it's made me me. It's made me a better wife, made me a better business person, made me a better mother and a friend.
And you've been able to, like, people can relate to you 100%. Like, you are 100% relatable and
I'm
real.
very unfiltered. I don't really see the point of, hiding the bad stuff. I mean, we all go through bad stuff, and I don't think, you would if people just don't have the character if you don't admit the bad stuff. I mean, I've done things I'm not proud of, but I still wouldn't take them back. You know what I mean? But it'd be really getting to know me because everybody goes through things, and that's the hardest thing, to look back and go, what would I have done different? And that's what I realized when I turned 50. I was like, I never really knew what I wanted to be, but I did know what I didn't want. I knew that I didn't want to get into trouble and to not have a happy life. And that kind of veered me on the path of stay, you know what I mean? You got to your path. So that kind of helped me, through life to navigate my way and be like, I'm going to go this direction because in the outcome, this is what I want.
Yeah. And I really love that because, I'm only creeping up to 47 and I feel like I still have so much more life that I can do. Like my life is not over. My dreams are not over. And it's like, I feel like being a creative, and I know that you've got the creative stuff too. Like you're always thinking about, things and problem solving, and that's never going to go away. And I think that's what keeps me going and motivated just to keep as a parent, even is, my baby's little, she's like 6, right? It's like, it's different when I'm navigating the beginning stages of her life and carving out that time. And very much while you have the adult children that you can spend even more time on your businesses too, with that benefit of knowing that you can spend time with your kids and that, you're not having to wipe butts right now, which is great. I mean, those are the little things that I think about.
Sometimes at weddings now, I don't necessarily have to wipe a butt, but I might as well be hanging out with toddlers.
That's true. The motherly factors are still there with you when you're, and I know that I've heard you say this many times, that when you're having these events and you're putting on these events, you talk about even just feeding people in the kitchen, right? Like you're very welcoming and you make everybody feel like they're at home with you, whether they're related to you or not.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of that's that nurturing and that servanthood, that you're that kind of person that's you're there to serve people. And I really
think as long as you have something, if you have something to give, it doesn't matter what it is, something to eat, some knowledge, a hug, as long as you have something to give, you should give it and share it. And that's just always been the way I've been. My grandmother was that way, I mean, like if she had something, it didn't matter. You share and you give.
Yeah, I just think that's the sweetest thing. And I love that I know you enough to know I've been around you enough, which is great. Like I've been around you in person. You're not just some internet fictional character out there. So it's really great to have you on today. And I kind of wanted to transition into this ties in with a lot of your life story and what we were just talking about, how we regret nothing, right? We've been shaped by our experiences. And I think I've been joking a lot on these podcast episodes that every tattoo has a story. Every tattoo has a decision that you may have made, willing or unwilling, to go get. A lot of people have gotten group tattoos in a group setting where you all decide to get a tattoo of the same kind, or different tattoos. And I did tacos and tattoos with my friend, and it was fabulous. We all got different tattoos, but it was a shared experience. I would like for you to highlight one of yours. I know the one that I'm thinking about, except I don't want you to say the F word, but I know the one on your wrist was very significant for me just hearing a piece of that story. But I was wondering if you had a couple of one or two tattoos that you wanted to share about today.
I mean, well, I've got 4 tattoos. I got 2 the first time together, and then 2, one of the ones you're speaking of the second time together. All of them were here in Mexico.
Yeah.
So you can kind of pick which one you want me to tell you about. They're not long stories, but they're pretty short and brief, as I tend to be. So.
Well, if you've got 4 short stories, I'll take it because I don't know about every single one of them, and I am curious. You got 2 at one time, you said?
Yes, I've had, so I got the first time I was here in Mexico,
Yeah.
2 years ago, and I'd always wanted my husband's name tattooed on my finger, but no one in our town would do it. They said it was a bad omen, bad juju. Plus I have really bony fingers, and 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 my wedding ring was channel set, and it would rub off, a whole bunch of nonsense.
Yeah. And you're like, well,
yeah. So I was like, I am doing it. But I also always wanted an evil eye. That's always been something that I've had in my life. Gosh, I mean, probably for 25 years now. It comes with saying no. Sometimes you got to have that evil eye protection. So I wanted that too. And I just decided to get it done down here on a whim. My husband and I went together. He got Dixie tattooed on his hand, and I got Lee tattooed on mine, and it hurt like hell, those 3 little letters. And then I checked out, and I wasn't going to get the evil eye on the back of my neck. I've got a tiny little evil eye. They're all tiny. And it's on the back of my neck. It didn't hurt at all. But then after I got it, I was like, the only thing about that is I totally forget that I have it because I don't see it. You know what I mean? And,
exactly. All of mine are on my backside. I know exactly what you mean. I forget I have them too. In general, actually, I forget sometimes I have a pink hair, it's just one of those things. You get used to it.
Yeah. Part of the reason I wanted his name on my finger was I knew at some point I wouldn't be able to wear my wedding ring because of the setting. And I was like, when I'm old, I want that there. No matter what happens, even if God forbid something were to happen and we were not to be together, he is a significant, huge part of my life. And I wouldn't be the woman I am without my relationship with him. And so I was like, I won't regret that. So I gave in and did that. And then last year we were back here, and I kind of liked the way my hand looked with a little rinky dinky tattoo on the ring finger. So I got another one, and I got a little evil eye on my other ring finger, and I love it because it looks like a little crown, and it's very pretty even if I'm not wearing a ring. And then I decided to just go totally rogue and get Dilligaff tattooed on the inside of my wrist. For the people who are out there, that means, do I look like I give a F? Spelled Dilligaff. It's very small and very dainty. And I just wanted it there because I was like, I really don't give a F about a lot of stuff because it's really not worth it. I mean, I think in general in life, we get so worked up about so many things that are irrelevant that we can't change. And you just don't need to give a, put it in the F it bucket and call it a day, move on, mind your business, be happy, do good. And so I, wanted that to be on my wrist. And I also was like, when I get old, this will make me giggle in the nursing home.
Well, that you can flip it around however you want. You can look at it, you could not look at it. And people may or may not ask you questions because it's so little and dainty, like you said.
Yeah. Well, somebody did ask me, an older lady asked me, and I couldn't bear to tell her. So I told her it was my cat's name.
Oh my God.
I have it. I love it. It pretty much sums me up. And my whole thing about life is I've always worried about me and doing the best I can. I've never really worried about other people and what they're doing. And I think that again goes back to me being in the position that I'm in and having done well, because I'm just a dirt road white girl from Mississippi. Now, I don't have any family money. I've had to work to get everything that I have, and I value everything that I have. My family, my little tattoos, my time in Mexico, my select group of friends, you know what I mean? And I don't have time to be giving an F about all this other stuff that really doesn't matter.
Yeah. And I think the fact that we get to make those choices, some people never feel like they have choices. And when we're talking about, I know you and I have talked about even blood family, having to make some hard choices and then building our family the way we want it, the way we need it, because, if there's just too much drama going on, a lot of us can't function in that. And I'm way too emotional for that. I get caught up in it all the time. So I'm just like, the world has enough of that going on. I need a little bit of peace every now and then, a peace and fun. And And like my fun, I'm going to schedule myself to take myself to Chicago for my birthday. So I'm kind of excited to just, and I haven't done that. I haven't let myself just have fun. And I think since I've met you, I've really just taken that in as a wisdom nugget of, it's okay to plan a trip that's literally just for you, not your
It is.
business, not your family, not even your friends. Like I'm even watching myself. It's just, I just feel like I have this whole new way of seeing life now that ever since 2018, when I made some changes and then meeting all my wonderful Clubhouse friends, y'all have really just let me and embraced me for me. And I think that's a beautiful thing when we have the opportunity to do that with other people, is just embracing them as they are and then loving them as they are. I think it's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, you got to love yourself. Always, I mean, I preach this to my children so hard. I'm like,
Yeah.
as they go through life and new relationships, and I'm like, if you do not love yourself more than anybody else, you're not ever going to find complete love and happiness. And you're always going to be dependent on other things, material things, other
Yeah.
people. You got to love yourself and be happy with yourself and know that you're good enough and that you're great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I love myself. I love where I am. The people in my life are a luxury that I'm so grateful to have. But like, I don't have to have that.
Yeah.
They're luxury. I mean,
It's true. It's
loving
true.
myself is a necessity, and you loving yourself is a necessity. But
Yeah.
I don't think we can do our best for other people until we get to that state.
No, I love that, because I think majority of my life, I know I can speak for myself, when you're looking for everything else to fill you. Everything. It
Mm-hmm.
could be very simple things. It could be food, it could be people, it could be whatever. It could be, tattooing your whole body and maybe still not be fulfilled, you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like, but once you find and love you in yourself, I think it's a beautiful thing, and that's what I've been embracing since I've had my shift in my life. And I think it starts to show in the people around you and the new people that you meet, or the people that you've known your whole life. You get to, at least for me, I've been able to like just be a little bit more free to be myself, and know that not everybody's going to understand me, and that's okay too. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
I just, I'm so thankful is what I'm trying to say. I'm thankful I'm here now. I'm 46, about to be 47, and I'm cool with who I am.
You're fabulous. And you've got so much to offer, and you're such a unique and beautiful person with such different interest. And I mean, that just makes you so special. And you've just got such a warm and loving and fun soul. I mean, you just have to know that about yourself, and just give yourself a big ass hug every day, kiss yourself in the mirror, be like, I love myself.
And you know what? Some of us should just talk a little nicer to ourselves too. We've
You
spent enough
should.
time talking mean to ourselves. We should take some time to talk nice to ourselves, because we wouldn't run out and say bad things about other people intentionally if we're purely out to love each other, as people.
Yeah.
I've often found that as an interesting concept, how we go so all out for everybody else, but not for ourselves. And so you've taught me that, Dixie, and I'm going to continue to work on that as a life skill.
Glad. I think you're well on your way.
Yes, I'm totally well on my way. I'm so excited, and I'm so excited I could spend some time with you today. And I'm so glad the audio did not cut out. I am so excited to have everybody hear this real and raw conversation that will be unedited and unfiltered. As usual, I am unfiltered and Dixie is unfiltered. We just want to share our perspectives with the world and inspire others and love others, and whatever that looks like. And today's Tattoo and Toddlers is another example of good conversation, insights into life, and then also fun tattoo stories. So Dixie, is there anything we want to leave anybody with today? One more tiny insight. We've already given them so much today, but
Yeah, just love yourself. Give yourself a hug and enjoy your life, and enjoy the people around you who bring quality to your life. And if they don't bring quality, rethink that tattoo on my wrist. Dilligaff.
I love
Love
it.
yourself and Dilligaff and rock on.
I love it. I love it. Well, everyone, stick around for the next episode. I've got some great guests coming up, as well as my regular co-host will be coming up as well. So I will look forward to seeing you on the next episode.